how to determine your property investment strategy so you can select the right investment property. So early in our property journey, we heard this term property strategy thrown around a lot.
Yeah, what is your strategy?
Yeah, people said, oh, it depends on your strategy. What you buy just depends on your strategy. And we wondered, what does it actually mean? What is your investment property strategy? And we figured that the property investment strategy is twofold.
Yep, it is twofold. First is, what your selection criteria is, and second, what you intend to do with the portfolio. And with the first one, what your selection criteria is, it's important to consider what your negotiables and non-negotiables are with your property purchase. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, then all properties will look the same.
So you really need to narrow down as to what will make a good property for you and why. So one of the things that you need to look at is what am I buying? Am I focusing on houses? Am I focusing on units, villas, townhouses? And if you are looking at houses, how big should the block be, or the minimum size that you want to buy? So you're not going to go, for example, below 600 square meters.
Yeah. Or would it be 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms? What should the minimum rental yield should be for that property purchase?
Yep. And also, if you are looking at strata properties like villas or townhouses or units, figuring out, well, this is the maximum strata fees that I'm willing to pay, or this is a maximum number of units I'm okay with in a complex. So this allows you to really narrow down into properties that actually meet your criteria rather than focusing all the other properties out there.
Yeah, and the next thing is considering why you're buying it. For example, when we started out with our journey, we looked at the cheaper end of the market, and it was low entry price, low cost. It did mean more, obviously more council rates and water rates, because there were multiple cheaper properties, but it's still in the metro areas.
Yep, high rental yield is what we focused on.
Why? Yeah, that was our why we were doing it. Cash flow was important to us. So if cash flow versus capital growth, that debate comes into the picture. And the third thing is where you should buy.
That ties into the fundamentals. What sort of government spending is happening in the area, what sort of private spending, is there hospitals being upgraded, is the council doing some specific work, or is there like a university coming in, or because these are the things that are going to bring in jobs in an area and ultimately going to drive prices.
And proximity to transport, and obviously depends on the demographics and the population of the area, so whether people prefer train or buses in that suburb wherever you're buying. So need to consider the proximity to schools as well, because that's what creates a desirability for young families to move into the area.
That's right. And another thing actually I'd like to add is whether an area has primarily owner-occupiers or investors, because that is what's going to drive the value of the property. Owner-occupiers tend to drive the capital growth because they're emotional. So you may want to look at the statistics on that, and also looking at the vacancy rates. So how many properties are vacant at this point in time? So you can search that online, because that will determine how quickly you'd be able to get a tenant in and how much rent you'd be able to charge.
Yep. So and then of course you need to consider what you will do with that portfolio, whether you're going to sell part of the portfolio to pay off the other. Are you going to develop? But that's another discussion to be had. What we would suggest you, if you are a new investor or you've invested in one property and you're not happy with it, then go back to basics and list out your what, why, where, and the fundamentals that you're going to consider that will tick your boxes, your negotiables and non-negotiables. So make that list, and that will give you a lot of clarity on what you should be buying.
And if I may add, with clarity comes certainty. So the clearer you are on your strategy, the more certain when you find that right investment property. Hope this helps, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.